Well, as I promised, ladies and gentlemen, here you go. Another serious video, finally. Fairly serious. Expect a few memes here and there along the way, and I'll see you at the end. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is SpaceCat, and today I'm going to be going over my opinions on the PC versus console controversy and the Xbox One X. So, where to start? I think we'll start off with PC versus console. Now, you know, basically me, Arl the Grand, and Caden, we all game on PC. The reason I chose to game on PC was because I knew it would be an overall better experience for me in gaming. And so far, after a while of gaming on PC, I realized it's a great experience that everybody should at least try once. Now, many would complain, oh, SpaceCat, well, I'd have to go out and buy a $1,000 PC just to get it running smooth. That's not true. Like, about a year ago, there's a PC that was about $178 that was tested with Battlefield 1, and it pulled off 58 frames per second as its minimum. It goes to show that a PC can pull off more than a console can. Now, my experience on PC has overall changed my life on gaming and basically everything else. PC has Skype, Discord, editing softwares, which is what I'm using right now to pull off this video. Without a PC, there wouldn't be video games in general, because that's how they design their games. Now, it really angers me when I encounter a person who says that a console can pull off or run better than a PC. That is incredibly wrong. Now, of course, it does depend on the specs that your PC has. If you're running a Windows XP with a, I don't know, Intel Pentium, then of course it's not going to run as good. But even with a decent PC, it can still run much better than a console can. Now, my specs aren't necessarily the beast or anything. I only have 8 GB of RAM, the GTX 1060 with 6 GB of VRAM, and an Intel i7 6700K. Now, my friend Arl the Grand over here, he has a GTX 1080. Now, even though the specs of my PC wouldn't be deemed as the beast compared to some people's PCs out there, mine completely blows a console out of the water, of course. Now, my PC has enough power to play Battlefield 1 at 115 frames per second average. That's pretty good. The lowest I've seen is about 60, which I'm completely fine with. Now, this is another debate amongst gamers. It's which is better, the graphics quality or frames per second. Now, in my opinion, I'm the type of person that can run a game at low settings and still enjoy it. Now, with a good amount of console gamers, and I'm not saying all of them are like this, I'm not going to be criticizing anybody, I'm not pointing fingers here, but a good amount of console gamers value graphics over gameplay and frames per second. There was a YouTube poll that happened about maybe a month ago that showed that many gamers actually prefer graphics over gameplay, which really angers me. Because I can play an older game that doesn't have the most stellar of graphics, and I can still enjoy it. It's because I value gameplay over the graphics. Because, now, I can admire graphics, don't get me wrong. Some of the games these days are absolutely insane. As you saw in Caden's I'm Back video, he was playing some of that Resident Evil 7, and boy oh boy, does that game look pretty good. Now, in a little bit, I'm going to show you some gameplay of one game that I really love that I've been playing a good amount lately. I'm going to show it in just a little bit, but it's called Medal of Honor Allied Assault. It's a fairly old game. I know, you see 2 black bars on the side of the screen, don't go jumping towards the comments. I can already hear you complaining about how this can't be a good game. But please listen, games like this are just an example of how video games can still be great, even if they don't have the most stellar of graphics. Now, I know what you're thinking. This game, of course, it doesn't look good compared to today's standards. But games today that I'm going to compare to this, like Overwatch and Borderlands, they don't necessarily have the most realistic graphics because they're supposed to have a hand-drawn element, which in my opinion is very unique, because that just shows you how a video game can still look great even if it's not meant to be realistic. I feel like I've voiced all of my opinions on the PC versus console controversy. As you can tell, I obviously prefer PC over console. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not the kind of person to say, put a keyboard and mouse in my hands and that's all I'm gonna use. No. No, you've got me wrong. I love consoles. Consoles are the things that have gotten me into gaming. And without consoles, I probably wouldn't even be as interested in video games as I am today. Now, of course, I started off with Nintendo consoles because I love Nintendo, and then I had a PlayStation 3, and it just went on from there, and then I switched to PC gaming. But keep in mind that I realized how much these companies are screwing over their customers. That's why I switched to PC, because I knew it would be an overall better experience. So please keep in mind that I'm not anti-console. I love console gaming. But keep in mind that there are some things that I do not like what the companies are doing to their gamers. Kill yourself. So, I guess this is the Xbox Scorpio and console gaming part of this section. So, I think I'm going to start off with regular consoles first. Well. We are in the console part. Well, the reason why I switched over to PC gaming was because I decided that I did not want to be a corporate slave and pay for multiplayer. Now, I'm not the kind of person to go out of my way to forcefully tell every single person I meet who plays on consoles that I'm better than them. No, I don't deem myself as better than any other person. But I might deem them as a corporate slave. When I say that, I mean that they are paying money monthly to play their games online. Now, that really makes me mad, because one, on PC you don't have to pay a dime for multiplayer. And what surprises me even more, the Xbox app on PC, which allows you to get in an Xbox party through the app, which on Xbox you have to have live. So why this is surprising to me is that this means that you don't own an Xbox, you own a PC. You don't need Xbox Live to join an Xbox party on PC, but you do on the console. That's why it makes me think that PC is the best way to go money-wise. Now, what really does make me mad is that with multiplayer on consoles, you have to pay around $10 every single month, and that's not counting Xbox Live Gold, or PlayStation Now, or whatever PlayStation has. But when you really think about it, you're forking out cash to a giant company that clearly has a ton of money. Now, there always is the big talk about how giant corporations don't care anything about the consumer, which is true. A lot of console players believe that they are all at the center of attention, that they love and adore them. No, they have to profit. And I'll admit that with Steam too. Now, other YouTubers have pointed out in the past that companies competing with each other like Origin and Steam is a good thing, because when Origin started refunding their games, Steam had to step in too, which is good for the consumer. Now, with PC gaming, of course, they're not going to care just about you. It applies to every single platform that you'll play a game on. But for Valve, a giant corporation that makes tons of money, that has millions of people sitting at their computer playing games on that software every single day, to not make you pay for multiplayer is something that you will only find on PC. Now, I'm gonna roughly mention some other fairly off-topic subjects here. I read a Game Brand article recently that Nintendo is actually gonna make their players pay for multiplayer monthly, about $15 every month, which shocks me, because Xbox Live and PSN only costs $10 a month, so it seems a bit weird that Nintendo would be doing something like that. Other than that, another thing I want to mention about Sony. I have a particular problem with Sony and their rules, because they are very limited and restricted to what they want their gamers to play with. Now, in my opinion, Sony works like this. They think they can only, if you want to play with your friends, you can only have a PlayStation 4. Which is understandable, because that's kind of how it works on every console. If one of your friends has Steam, it's most likely that you're not going to find another game that you can play with them cross-platform. But what is angering me recently is that, in another Game Rant article I read, Nintendo was confronted by Microsoft with the Switch version of their Minecraft. And Microsoft said, we would allow crossplay, and Nintendo agreed that they would want crossplay, but Microsoft said that there was a catch, that they'd have to sign in through their Xbox Live account, and Nintendo agreed. For Nintendo, a company to allow Microsoft even tamper with them is insane, and I love it. It's cool. They're unifying all of the consoles. Now, of course, it's Minecraft. Nobody plays Minecraft anymore, but it's a step in the right direction. Cross-platform play is something that has been around not necessarily for that long. It started along with Rocket League, and that's another problem I have with Sony. They don't even allow cross-platform voice chat, which is that's what Microsoft what's happened with the Xbox app. This is another off-topic subject that's not, of course, not on topic of cross-platform play or PC versus console, but it's about a particular game that I am hyped for and angered about. Modern Warfare Remastered. The one reason why many people actually did buy the deluxe version of Infinite Warfare. Now, many are mad at Modern Warfare Remastered because it does not come with all of the original multiplayer maps, and they're wanting you to pay for those maps that you did not receive. Which I can understand the anger. It angers me. If it's a remastered version, why aren't they including the original stuff and forcing you to pay for supply drops and cosmetic items? Many people are referring to it as Modern Warfare Reimagined. It's just Activision's greed fueling this remaster. Yes, this is off topic from what we're talking about, but I wanted to voice my opinion on this. This is a pretty big opinionated video. There might be some other subjects later on. But that's all I have to say about Modern Warfare Remastered for now.
Big Dom showing up to crash yet another video. What do you think about the Xbox One X?
I think it's time to move on to the topic of the Xbox One X. So, the Xbox One X got recently announced. It doesn't look half bad. In a way, I'm excited for it. I'm one of those people who's lenient about buying it, because I still need to see more to intrigue me about buying it. Obviously, and most likely, I probably will not buy this console. I'm just not really interested in Xbox at this point. I don't really feel like paying for multiplayer. But, one thing I do want to mention about that is the Xbox One X angers me and pleases me. It is going to become the most powerful console ever made, which, right now, the title is still held by the PlayStation 4 Pro. The Xbox One X specs, I can just pull up a sheet of that if you'd like, that's what I'm going to do, but, it is going to be the most powerful console made. And this is what angers me. As I mentioned pretty early into the video, the big topic, the big argument is frame rates, graphics, etc., which angers me that the main focus of the Xbox One X is 4K. Sure, the Xbox One S runs in 4K. I don't know if it runs its games in 4K. I think it's just videos or movies. But what truly angers me is the fact that instead of making hardware good enough to at least run even Battlefield 1 at a steady 60 frames per second, because that's all that a TV can put out. No, they jump on the giant train of 4K resolution television sets. They jump on the big bandwagon of it, and you see it at the store, you see like, oh, we've got a new 4K television, it's all new and all that. Not everybody's gonna own a 4K television. Now, sure, in the future, 4K will become the norm, of course. Just recently, I read an interview of the creator of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and his thoughts and opinions on the game being ported to console, and he said he was surprised that the game would even run at a solid 30 frames per second on the console in 4K. But keep in mind, he said that the game was running at low settings. The PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds creator also stated that when the game is running at 4K resolution, it runs even worse than it does at 1080p, due to the fact it has to render even more pixels. Now, in my opinion, Microsoft should have simply focused on making the world's most powerful and first 60 frames per second 1080p console. Now, I've always been a backer of the more powerful system. I moved to thinking PlayStation was the most powerful, and now it looks like I'm gonna be on Xbox's side for a while until the PlayStation 5 gets released. But it angers me that there isn't a 60 frames per second steady console out there. Hey, this is just a quick little message, but if you're wondering, we have a collab channel, a Discord, and a Xbox club, and a Steam group. So, if you want to join any of those, go right ahead. And Caden also made a YouTube channel, so go and subscribe to him.
My pick, diamonds on my sword, iron on my pick, diamonds on my sword, iron on my pick.